Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime and we're here to watch day 8 of the Tanner Horner trial. If you're watching live with me, you'll know we're starting late, much later than we planned, because a lot of the day has been redacted from public view. Now we are going to be able to watch now what they already showed, which is about 40 minutes worth of testimony, including from Athena Strand's dad. So if you missed day 7 and you didn't see Athena Strand's mom, Maitland Gandy, on the stand, oh my goodness, it is an absolute must-watch. Shame. It's very sad, but so powerful. Oh man. So, okay, today we're going to see Athena's dad take the stand. We'll also see Ranger Espinoza and a little bit of footage from the FedEx van, but not that footage. I believe at this time, right now, as I'm talking, the jury's busy hearing the audio of Athena being murdered. There's no other way to say it. They're seeing the video which then switches to audio only when Tanner Horner covered the camera. That's what they're doing right now. Camilla, welcome to membership. Let me quickly bring up this court feed so you can see. This is what they're showing right now. They've been showing this for quite a while now. Okay. So I'm going to monitor this on another screen while we're watching testimony, just to see what's happening, because what I anticipate to happen, based on if you saw my trailer or a YouTube short that I made for you, so if you're watching the replay, go check out the YouTube short. I was reading you some posts that Kathy Russon from Law and Crime made. I think the state is showing this video, and then I think they're going to rest, because they're already talking about what's going to happen after this video is shown. And what's happening is, today is day 8, Thursday, April 16th of 2026, okay? Tomorrow, Friday, no public trial. Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, no cameras in the courtroom, because they'll be having Daubert hearings, which will be when witnesses for the defense, they have planned to have 19 witnesses, but they're going to have these Daubert hearings to qualify them, to hear what their qualifications are, what they're going to testify to, you know, why, what their expertise is, can they testify to that, kind of like that. We've seen Daubert hearings before. The worst one we ever saw together was in the Burgos Aviles trial. We're like, it takes so long. And the thing is that one would watch the Daubert hearing, and then if they showed it to the public, if they all qualify, we'd have to watch them all again. So I'm not mad at it. I really like this judge. I like how he runs it. Now this court feed just started immediately. Like there was no welcome everybody, whatever. It just started. And the minute it starts, Athena's dad is on the stand, okay? So that's what we're going to do right now. Here we go. Are you ready? Okay, wait.
Sure.
Right there. Okay.
Athena has a little bit of a girly side, but did she have any issues being dirty or playing outside?
Not at all.
I'm going to ask you to tell the jury a little bit about one of your favorite memories and favorite pictures that you have of Athena with the horse trough. Can you tell them about that?
Yes. It was springtime, so the water was still a bit chilly, and I walked outside and she was filling up the water trough and brought out a bunch of her Barbies and toys and filled up the water trough with them and was sitting in it when her dressed in cowgirl boots.
Did you actually end up taking a picture of Athena?
I did. She was shivering but having fun.
When you took that picture, was she in or outside of that water trough?
Outside of it, gathering more toys.
Soaking wet?
Yes.
What did you and Athena like to do together?
Mostly outside. We'd go camping, hiking, going to the lake.
Athena was 7, so what was she into at the time?
Shame, he's such a soft, gentle man. You know? Oh my goodness. Athena's dad, he's like a teddy bear. My goodness. Okay. So it's probably going to be an emotional testimony as well. Sure. Athena's mother's one was very, very emotional, if you missed it.
As every little girl was, Frozen, and unicorns and mermaids, and getting dirty.
She liked to sing the Frozen songs?
24/7.
You mentioned Barbies. And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'm showing you what has already been admitted as, I think, the 153, I believe. Do you recognize these?
I do.
Was this Athena's Christmas gift?
Yes.
Is this the last thing that you'll bought for your daughter?
Yes.
Your Honor, can I publish these to the jury?
Sure.
Everybody do the involuntary eye roll together. Here's Tanner Horner, 34 years old, in the penalty phase of the trial because he pleaded guilty. He's facing the death penalty. And as we said all along the way, especially after yesterday, if the death penalty exists in a state or a country or wherever, this is the case for it, in my opinion. This is the case. How much worse can it get? I still cannot imagine when I look at this person what he did. You know? Like, to think there he is. You literally abducted a little girl and then you had her for an hour and tortured her, tried to break her neck, stomped on her, all these things. They said pressed, right, from the injuries. But what the hell? And then yesterday there was the DNA evidence, and we heard about his DNA being in places, as the state said, it should not be. Private part swabs, oral swabs, his DNA under her fingernails. My goodness, okay.
Jacob, these are the You Can Be Anything Barbies. Athena did not get that opportunity. She went missing on November 30th of 2022. Can we talk about that day?
Yes.
How was that day for you when it started?
It was a good day. Went to work and came back a little bit after they got home from school.
So, did you see Athena when she got home from school?
Yes.
And what were y'all doing?
Just hanging out for a little while. I wanted to be with the kids before I went out on my hunting trip with my dad.
And do you recall about what time you went on your hunting trip?
It was just before, a little bit before dark, I think.
When you were leaving, did you say bye to Athena?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury about that?
I told all the kids and Athena bye and gave her a hug. And then after I was, or as I was leaving, I was backing up, she ran up to the truck because she wanted to give me another hug. And I told her not to run up on me while I'm backing up in a truck. And yeah, gave her another hug and told her I love her.
That was your final moments with Athena alive?
Yes.
At some point, were you notified she went missing?
Yes.
And what did you do?
I was, of course, a little nervous, but I thought maybe she was just playing hide and seek or something because she was really good at that.
I think you told me a story about her hiding in a closet somewhere. Where was she hiding?
Yes, we were all playing hide and seek, and she hid in the linen closet with everything in front of her, and we were searching for like 20 minutes.
So when you first got notified, you thought she was hiding?
Yeah.
Did you participate in searching for Athena?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
I searched each day whenever they let me, and I thought maybe I'd be a little bit better at it because I've been on that property since I was 8 years old, and I know the woods like the back of my hand.
You didn't find Athena on your property, though, did you?
No.
When were you told that Athena's body was recovered?
On the second in the Cottondale Church in the room.
What were y'all doing at that church?
That was just kind of like the middle ground for everybody to meet up and rehydrate and eat. They were taking care of everybody that was a part of the search, and they let the family stay there.
How was that for you?
It was nerve-wracking and hard. Still had hope, but...
The pain in his eyes as well. Oh my word, I can't imagine. Sasha Johnson says, so she had just been warned about safety around a vehicle. It's highly unlikely that she was taking any chances around a FedEx truck backing up, in my opinion. Of course, right? So we know that that was a lie that Tanner Horner told, but what a cruel lie it was on top of everything. You know, because her dad said goodbye to her, just had that talk with her. Not that I think Tanner Horner knew that, although you never know. I don't know how and why he came up with that story, but it's just a story which has been completely debunked by the video from the FedEx van. We didn't get to see it, but we saw the screenshot from it, and you could see Athena was not injured, right? Thank you so much all for being here and, you know, waiting for me to start and all of that. I really appreciate it. I do that so that you have the best viewing experience, just so you know. I will not gladly sit here with you, but I want to make it a very productive stream, you know, so we don't have to just sit and stare at the wall. So I really, really appreciate you being here, even though I started so late.
You mentioned that you've been on the land since you were 8 years old.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your home and the land that you live on?
We moved there back in 2000 when I was 8, and it's on 10 acres, and now me and my brother both live on it. He lives down the hill from me.
Who all lived with you in your part of the property?
It was me, Ashley, Athena, Alice, and Yursa at the time. YRSA.
How old is your son?
She's 5 now.
And Alex?
14.
And Athena would have been 11 now?
Yes.
Do you still have a place at your home that you talk to Athena?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury about that?
There's a fruitless pear tree that Alice and Athena would always climb. That was just kind of like their spot where they hung out, and they would also gather toys from their room and hang in that tree like ornaments.
Talk a little bit about your role, as a man and how it affected you. I want you to tell the jury a little bit about that. Athena was taken from your home, your property that you've been at since you were 8 years old. You weren't there. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel horrible, like like I should have done something or been there. I wasn't there to protect them like I should be, like a father's role.
Did that create you a lot of guilt?
Yes.
How did you handle your trauma and your pain from this?
Pretty much self-destruction.
Can you tell the jury a little bit about that?
I just kind of held everything in, and it just broke me.
Did you turn to alcohol?
Yes.
Oh, shame. Oh no, man. It's so heartbreaking. Okay, so welcome if you guys are only joining now. See if people are rolling in. Wibble and Wobble 2, thank you for your $20 sticker. I really appreciate your support. I saw earlier people saying happy birthday to MN Mom. I'm so sorry, MN Mom, I didn't see your message, but if it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. Thank you for being here with us. And yeah, after this we'll see Ranger Espinoza, a little bit of FedEx video, and right now the jury, after hearing and seeing some of the video, hearing some of the audio, they're on lunch, and then we'll hopefully catch up on if they're doing anything else this afternoon, right after this.
What about your marriage?
It ruined my marriage.
Oh, shame. And we heard the stepmom testify on day 1, and she said that the loss of Athena affected their marriage, and that they are divorced. They're no longer together. So that was really sad to hear, and now we're hearing it from his side as well, right? Shame.
How did it affect your ability to eat and sleep and normal day-to-day activities?
I couldn't sleep, and I would only eat like every 7 days, and I lost like 50 pounds.
We talked earlier about Athena's siblings. So we had Yursa, and we had her stepsister Alice, right? And then she also has a sister Rylan, her mom made a daughter. Talk a little bit about Athena and Alice. What was their relationship like?
They were just best friends. They loved that they were sisters, but not real sisters, they would say. So they were just best friends.
Has this affected Alice?
Yes.
Did y'all all go into therapy?
Yes.
How is Alice doing now?
She recently went back to therapy because she's been having nightmares.
Nightmares about what?
everything that she's having to hear about and what happened to her sister.
The defendant wrote a letter to the family and the law enforcement. Did you believe that letter?
Not at all.
What do you miss most about Athena?
Just her laugh and her spirit. And she loved everybody.
Is there anything that you want this jury to understand about your loss in this process?
I just hope that the jury and the justice system will make the right decision.
I'll pass witness, Judge.
Cross-examination.
No, Your Honor. Mr. Gandy, Mr. Strand, we have no questions for you. We are terribly sorry for your loss.
Okay.
May this witness be excused. Thank you, sir.
Wish we could all give him a big bear hug, hey? Oh, shame, man. Ginger Snap said, this is so very heartbreaking. Thank you, Grizzly, for your strength and the love to go through this with us. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate it.
Who do you have next?
Ranger Espinoza.
Ranger Espinoza. Remind you that you're still under oath.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I see.
Mr. Stan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ranger Espinoza, at the end of this investigation, you completed your report and you testified earlier about delivering evidence and things of that nature. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then at some point you also testified you had seen some video in this case. Is that right?
Yes, sir, correct.
But at the time you completed your investigation or at least done your report, had you seen all the video in this case?
No, sir, I had not.
And at some point were you able to view all the evidence or all the video that was made available from the lawsuiter in this case?
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay. And how many different days do we have of video in this case?
We have approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of video.
And do we have video before November 30th?
Yes, sir, we do.
On what day?
5 days of video. I'm just calculating. Okay. If they worked not overnight but like an 8-hour shift, because they said it records every 40 hours, right? Isn't that what they said yesterday? So maybe if it was recording for approximately 6 to 8 hours a day, okay. 5 days of video from the FedEx van, okay.
We have video from the 26th and the 29th.
2022?
Yes, sir, correct.
We have video, you already testified, we saw some video from the 30th. And what other days do we have video on as well?
We're also able to obtain December 1st and December 2nd.
And to your knowledge, is that all the video that you were able to obtain in this case?
Yes, sir, correct.
Now, these videos from the 26th, 29th, 30th, 1st, and 2nd, what's the approximate length of each video in total?
The approximate length on the 26th and the 29th of relevance isn't much. Probably,
Well, let me start there. How long are these? What is the time period that the entire video is? I guess that's what I'm
For the 30th, it's going to be almost 2 hours of video that we have.
Does the video, do they show a complete shift of Tanner Horner working on each one?
Yes, sir, they do.
And the complete video, not the clips and things you're talking about, but the complete video.
Yes, sir, correct.
And so if I do the arithmetic here, that looks to be 30 hours or so potentially of video.
Correct, yeah, and a lot of that is just normal delivery work, obviously delivering packages, normal work shift, normal things.
Your Honor, I object to Ranger Espinoza testifying to something that is not into evidence.
Sustained.
When you viewed the video, you viewed the entire thing, did you not?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And during that time, other than the events that we're going to talk about, what's he generally do?
Delivery.
Objection, Your Honor, testifying to a video not into evidence.
Sustained.
Video, it's in evidence.
Videos have not been offered. Is that as far as I
They've been
recall?
admitted.
What number is
Through Jim Becker yesterday. Well, it was actually admitted earlier through Rick Ross, but Jim Becker identified those as videos from FedEx truck yesterday.
it was not offered yesterday during Mr. Becker, so if it's in evidence, it had to be offered by somebody. What is the
It was offered at Kurt DeRoss, the exhibit number.
What is the exhibit number?
While they're arguing about that, let me quickly read you a post from Kathy Russin from Law and Crime. I'm really grateful for all the posts she makes on X because she keeps us informed of what's going on in the courtroom, right? So she's with Law and Crime. And so she said, all right, wait. She says on X, graphic trigger warning. Please take care. Van video or audio recap in the Texas versus Tanner Horner trial. WFAA reporter Rebecca Lopez gave on-air updates about the video while court was on a break. Athena's parents didn't stay in the courtroom for the video. Some jurors were sobbing. I can't imagine. The video shows Tanner Horner. Wait, let's just put our trigger warning up as well. Okay. The video shows Tanner Horner lifting Athena into the van. Athena, where are we going? What are you doing? Are you a kidnapper? Horner is chit-chatting, asking where she goes to school, etc. Athena asks him, why are you doing this? Horner says, because you're pretty. I can't even, oh no. Okay. Shame. Athena said, are you a kidnapper? Why are you doing this? He says, because you're pretty. No, really, this case is for him. You know, the DP, okay. So, Horner says because you're pretty. He eventually stops the vehicle and at one point he tells her to take off her shirt. Athena tells him her mom says someone shouldn't be doing that to her. Athena asks him several times, what are you doing? She says, ouch, multiple times. At one point, Jingle Bell Rock comes on. Athena's crying in the background and Horner starts singing. He tells her to shut up several times. WFAA analyst who's been listening to the video said he definitely used this child for some sort of sexual gratification. You can hear it. It was clear that something sexual was going on. It's going to be very difficult for any expert to come in with any mitigating evidence. And the defense plans to have 19 witnesses if they are qualified through the Daubert hearings, right? Tanner Horner had his head down about an inch from the table during the video. The analyst said she believes he was reliving it since it was only audio. The video of that is running in his head. This was premeditated. He knew exactly what he was doing. The defense should just rest after this because it's so bad. Huh? That is so bad. Oh my word. Okay. So that's the update. So now we don't have to listen. I really like how that's, the bullet points of the update. I think that's enough for us. It's on WFAA if you want to check later where they talked about it. But that's what they said. JT Desert Dweller said, thank you for all your hard work and loving protection of the victims and I guess you mean families, right, during the trial. Thank you so much for your support and for being a member for 20 months. Guys, can you believe that? That is just I don't know, man. The jury, I feel so bad for them today.
States 116.
Yes, but we have the arrest van, and I assume that that is the December the 1st or 2nd video. But what was the date of the video for State's Exhibit 116?
Your Honor, yesterday, Mr. Becker testified that all of the videos were downloaded on flash drives that were contained in 160.
Okay.
Your Honor, my question is the same. What dates are on State's Exhibit 116?
All 5 days. Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. State.
I'm going to ask one question, and I'm going to move on. The entire length of the videos is many, many hours.
Yes, sir, correct.
And in some portion of those many, many hours, you testified that Mr. Horner is doing what? Jim?
Delivering packages.
Now, let me just ask you with regard to the videos, you said you received the video from November 30th. Do you remember when you received the remaining videos in this case?
Sometime after we met with the Wasser and received the rest of the dates, or we were able to create those events.
Now, at this time, were there some questions that you had remaining open that you were attempting to answer with regard to the facts and circumstances of this case?
Yes, there were.
All right, so generally speaking, what kinds of things are you still trying to answer in this case?
Obviously, reviewing the video would help us corroborate statements and ultimately obtain physical evidence that we were missing, such as clothing.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you about this video in kind of 3 seconds here so it makes sense. So, but let me start with this. On the video, we talked a little bit about the time, and I want to make sure we're clear here. Is the time on this in normal time, like we can look at the clock back there and read it?
No, it's not. It has like a conversion based on the software they were using, so you would have to actually convert it to AM, PM based on by doing an equation.
And so just to give an example, if the camera that we watch on these videos shows 2,300 hours, if we were to back that up and say what time is it in November of 22, what time is it?
In November of 22, that time would have been approximately 6:53.
Okay. Well, with regard to that, is it 2,300 and then you to convert it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes, 2,300, and then you convert it, and then you would end up at 5 p.m. Yes, I'm sorry.
I want to make sure where we are with this time.
Yes, sir.
Now, in the vehicles in the truck that you're watching this video, how many different views are there that you have access to in the truck?
So, through the course of the investigation, Wasser, it's a front dash cam view, and then it's a cabin view, so inside and outside.
So if I use the term dash cam, you understand that me looking out the front?
Yes, sir. Forward view.
And if we say cabin cam, that's looking inside the cabin.
Inside the cabin of the FedEx van.
All right. Now, with regard to the dates of November 26th and, November 29th, were you able to watch all of the cabin cam on those 2 days?
No, sir.
Were you able to watch all of the dash cam on those 2 days?
No, sir.
All right. Now, with regard to the dash cam, Was the dash cam simply missing, or what happened to it?
Upon reviewing the videos, I observed that the defendant, throughout the course of those days, at certain times covered up the cameras with some type of sticky note or some type of object.
Let's talk about this specifically so we're aware of this. On the 26th of 2020.
Just hold on. So he already, firstly, Deanna, thank you so much for the coffees. He covered the camera in the days before. That was his like usual. What was he doing when he covered the camera the other times? Or was that practice? Even though he failed completely. Maybe he thought it didn't continue recording audio. I would think he'd just cover the cameras, but to do what? I don't think we want to know, right? We don't want to know. Okay.
You said you observed him cover up the camera. When did he cover up the front-facing camera on November 26th?
Approximately 6:53 p.m. is when I first observed that he covered the camera.
And then let's move to the 29th. When did he cover up the front-facing camera on the 29th?
Approximately 4:30 p.m.
Now, let me ask you, have you seen the video with regard where he arrives at the Huffman house sometime on November 29th?
Yes, sir, I have.
And what time does he arrive on November 29th at the Huffman house?
Approximately 5:45 p.m. I observed that he was at the Huffman residence.
Okay. And so let me ask you, how much time between when he covered the camera and he arrives at the Huffman house?
About an hour and 15 minutes approximately.
Now, let's move to November 30th. On November 30th, when do you observe him covering up the camera, front-facing camera on November 30th?
Approximately 4:09 p.m. on November 30th, which would have been the abduction day. I observed him cover the camera.
Front-facing camera?
Correct, yes, sir.
And then, when are you aware that he arrives at Athena's residence?
Approximately 5:30 p.m. he arrives at Athena's residence.
So how much time elapsed between when he covers up the camera and he arrives at Athena's residence?
Approximately an hour and a half.
What road, county road, is the Huffman residence on?
It's on the same road as Athena's residence.
Okay.
Same county road.
Now, I am, firstly, disclaimer, certainly not saying that anybody that smokes MJ, try to censor for YouTube, will in any way behave like Tanner Horner. That's my disclaimer. I'm thinking out loud that maybe when he covered the camera in all these days, maybe he would cover the camera to then, you know, smoke a blunt, and then he gets all his ideas that are already pre-existing in him. Clearly, they just come out. What do you think? What do you think about that speculation? Like, damn, he's covering the cameras even before going to the Huffman house? That was the day before, where they said he was behaving a little bit weirdly around other little girls as he was delivering packages. But then her parents, those girls' parents, were outside there too, right? Helping get the package and all that at that moment. So remember, if you forgot to even put the door back down on that day, which was the day before. Okay. So if he's covering the cameras from 4:09 p.m., the front-facing camera, and he arrives at Athena's house at 5:30. Oh dear. What do you think about that? Wacky tobacco. Yeah. That's it, KK on YouTube. Wacky tobacco. That one. That's a great way to censor it. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just like, maybe he covered it because he's not allowed to do that on the job. Maybe that's why. Maybe he covered it. And then he did that. And then he did all sorts of, he had thoughts up all sorts of other things.
What does that tell you, Ranger Espinoza?
Objection, Your Honor, that calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Why is that important to you?
Objection, Your Honor, again, that's speculation.
Sustained.
In reference to 3573, we've had testimony that it's a dead-end road. Where's the Huffman house on that road?
At the end of that road.
And where's Athena's house?
Somewhere in the middle of that road.
You said something about Athena's clothes. Is that still a question that you have open?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And let me ask you about Athena's clothes. Were you able to discover what had happened to Athena's clothes as part of your review of this video?
Yes, sir, I was.
And what was that? What happened to
During the course of viewing the video, I observed, I believe some of it went into a bag, and then I also observed the defendant placing what looked to be panties and the pants into the backpack. You could, obviously the cabin views up close, you see him unzipping it and put them inside the backpack, which we later located at the residence.
And on November 30th, the day of the murder, are we able to see the cabin cam for the entire time on the day of the murder?
No, sir,
And why is that?
because the defendant covered it.
And at some point, is it uncovered, and when was that?
Yes, sir. He uncovers it at the Loves on his way back to the FedEx station.
On the day of the murder?
Correct, yes, sir, on November 30th.
Are you able to see what he's doing in the vehicle when he's at the Loves?
Yes, sir.
What's he doing at the Loves after he uncovers the camera?
He's cleaning up the FedEx van.
See, that's why I had a disclaimer. People are still arguing. I'm not saying that weed makes him do it. I'm saying he's already evil as is. He is already the monster that he is. But I think that part of his habit may have been lighting one up and then just being his absolutely terrible self. I just think he covered the camera, maybe because he had MJ in his pocket. So maybe he covered the front-facing camera as a habit, even though I'm sure he was fantasizing about abducting a little girl. I just think the pattern shows, if it goes back to November 26th, and they don't have video from, let's say, June, July, August, whatever, maybe that's just what he did. He just covered the camera so he could light one up and enjoy that and then go on about his day. So I'm not saying that the weed causes it. I'm saying I think he covered the camera as a habit to do that, right? Anyway, that's it. That's what I'm going to say. I'm sure you know exactly what I mean, right?
Okay.
Oh boy. We're not going to... Okay, just wait. For anyone who doesn't know yet, we are not seeing that video. The video, the murder video and audio. They're just showing us other video from days leading up to that. Days then up to and days after. Okay, so if we look at the top here, it says the 26th of November of 2022, Athena was abducted and murdered on November 30th of 2022. Tanner Horner was arrested on December 2nd of 2022. Okay, just a little recap. I know many of you that you watched this whole trial with me, you're like, really, we're going to recap that again? Yeah, there's always new people and always people asking those questions, right? So just so you know, timeline-wise, this would be 4 days before.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, for record purposes, could the state identify which video they are playing?
rder Espinoza, just so that we're clear on this, what's the date on the top of this video?
This video is November 26th of 2022, one of the first times that I observed him covering the camera.
And if we were to look on each of these videos that we're going to play today, is that where we find the date up there at the top?
Correct. Yeah, if you view the top of the video, you can see the timestamp on the and date stamp on the top of the video.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
You might literally have to mute it or what? Okay, wait, let's do it like this. YouTube might just flag that video for copyright for the song. Oh my word. You know what? I think somebody's right. They said that they mentioned that he covered the front-facing camera. So not the camera facing him, I would assume then. That's interesting. Okay. Maybe you debunked my speculation then, which is perfectly fine, right? Why would he do that then? Anyway, maybe it's so premeditated, but he's such a dumbass because he didn't think that the audio was being recorded clearly. because he even Googled. Remember we saw his Google searches? When he Googled how long FedEx cameras record for, and, you know, do they record the whole time, or what did they record? Yeah, they got the audio, dude. Maybe he just thought it's just video. Okay, so anyway, here he is on the 29th of November of 2022, the day before Athena was abducted and murdered. And this was the day that he went to that other house, the Huffman house, where he was behaving a little weird around other little girls, okay? Listen, YouTube, don't be copywriting us for music, okay? This is an exhibit shown at a trial. So this was when he was at the Huffman house. Oh my word.
I would like to sit on these going to the adults, please. There's a Christmas time precaution. You, sir. Oh, okay. Okay, I was just making sure, kind
115 stops. I think they did say that before, but would he really do? Would he do 115 stops? That just sounds like a lot, right? And who's he talking to, bro? He's just like 115 stops today, not too bad. And here's, I guess, the dad in the background at this house being like, dude, your door is open. Look, look.
Back door. Oh, man!
Oh, no. We've got van term karaoke with him. We never wanted that. What a musician. Amazing voice, hey? If you're just listening, you know I'm being very sarcastic, okay?
Regular counsel, let me ask you a couple of questions. You said before there's video after the date of the murder on 12/1 and 12/2, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And let me just ask you, during your interview with Tanner Horner,
I'm sorry, wait, what? That video was from when? Okay, wait. That was from the 30th, hey? This is after the murder? This says the, 30th of November. Got a minus 10 further. It's the 29th, right? It's the 29th, right? Because it's not, that's not the time it actually is. Okay. Because I'm like, wait, what? Okay, let's hear this again.
regular counsel, let me ask you a couple of questions. You said before there's video after the date of the murder on 12/1 and 12/2, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And let me just ask you, during your interview with Tanner Horner, initially, did he tell you something about being in the area the next day where Athena went missing?
Yes, sir, yeah. So I understood that he at some point during the course of the day on December 1st had driven back into the actual search area and the area where Athena's home was located.
And do you remember when that was on 12/1?
I don't remember the approximate time on December 1st, but sometime during the course of that day.
And is that something we can see that on the video?
Yes, sir, you can.
So tell me, to your knowledge, how many times had he been on County Road 3573 in approximately the last 24 to 36 hours?
Objection, Your Honor, that's hearsay.
Stefan, yeah. I was just like, what? When I heard them say, oh, they're just talking about a video that's still coming up after the murder. Like from, because they said they had video from December 1st and 2nd, but that one we just saw where singing Sunflower. Yeah, that would be November 29th in the evening. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine if that was after? Wow.
3 times based on the video evidence and throughout the course of my investigation, obviously.
Objection, Your Honor, that is based on hearsay. Anything that someone told him about Tanner's driving patterns is hearsay.
That's overruled.
Okay. Michelle Melby said, gee, I worked at FedEx as a cleaner, and at Christmas times, drivers would do more than 200 stops a day. Very busy time of year. Oh my goodness. That is busy. That's a lot.
At the station here, they're known as this is Senior. Hello? Hey, this is Mike Drescher. This is Senior here at the station. What? Hey, nothing, I needed to get a little info for you on a delivery you had yesterday.
Your Honor, may I approach?
It's going to,
Oh dear. He got a call, that was on December 1st. Wow, okay. He got the call from Ranger Espinoza. Hello, I'm calling about a little missing girl. Look at him, he's like, they're sitting there. Ngozi, what does your question mean? I don't even know what you mean. Okay. Okay, Kian, you just said, how in the world did you figure out what song that was? I heard a bunch of radio interference. Someone said it in the chat. It's my source. Oh, man. We've got a zoomed in version of this guy, and I think that it stays like this for some time. Yeah. A lot of white noise and just staring at Tanner Horner. We don't want to do that, right? Okay. Cats of Berkeley said, thanks for your coverage. Hashtag justice for Athena. Thank you so much. Okay. Let us go here. Ooh. Cats of Berkeley. I already saw that. Thank you so much. And then, ooh, we gotta mind our ears soon. Natalie Brown Restoration said the defense is trying hard to keep this out, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, you will disregard the last few seconds of that video that was played when Mr. Horner received that phone call, okay? Disregard anything that may have been said or that you observed in that phone call, okay? All right, second picture.
so, did you see where there was an Amber alert for a little 7-year-old girl that, she's missing, and she lives in Suriname.
Hang on. Approach.
Ooh, you see, there was a lot of issues today. Big drama. I wonder if that who was that calling him there now? Do you think he'll take the stand? Oh, everybody stand, please. Oh dear. And now I think we're gonna wait is it? Yeah, we're gonna see the rainbow screen soon. We'll go forward. Grumpled Mumskin said, I didn't think I could dislike him any more than yesterday, but I do. Each day that it goes, right? Thank you so much for your support. Jennifer, no. They're not going to show anything traumatizing to us. The jury already saw the video, heard the audio, and they're on lunch. I'm not too sure what time they come back, actually. Okay. Dishaloo said, Grizzly, you are the GOAT. Thank you for covering trials like this. Oh, thank you so much. You've been a member for 34 months and still standing. Said, I don't think it was his first time. My heart broken for the family. Thank you. Well, if it was his first time, which I think it was, murdering someone, you know, a little girl, my goodness. But he was, I mean, would he stop after that? I don't think so. So I'm really glad they caught him so quickly, because this was an escalation from previous behavior from the alleged sexual assaults on teenagers, right? So you could see an escalation in his patterns and behaviors. I don't think he would have stopped. Another scary thought. Okay. And that was just a little preview of what we would have had to see and hear for a long time. So I just want to see if the judge says anything like now, before that happens. No, they don't talk. Okay, I'm going to spare your ears quickly. And now, go forward to about here. Okay. Are you kidding me? Said, thank you for honoring Athena and her family with such grace, Grizzly. You're one of a kind. Thank you so much. Willow's Angel said, how can the jury unhear what they heard on the video and then be told to disregard what they heard? Yeah, I know. They just can't regard it as part of their deliberations. The legal instruction is to disregard what they heard. Yeah, they can't unhear that. Okay, so I don't know, it's like in the corner here now. I'll take myself off screen for a second. You can see it says the 1st of December of 2022. So this is the day after the murder. This is his behavior the day after. In fact, let me put myself over here. How about that? So I'm guessing now we're seeing the front-facing camera, and that's what he would have blocked on other days. In case anyone else is confused, I'm going to answer this one. Colleen Itchy with her horse rescue. Thank you so much for your question. You said, did you say the jurors cannot use the videos they saw? I did not say that. I was answering the question based on what we just heard. The judge said they can't use that one little portion where Ranger Espinoza had told Tanner Horner, there's a little girl missing and I just need to talk to you, like basically law enforcement wants to talk to him and all that. I don't know. Something in that moment they don't want the jury to consider just that one sentence or two. This was the same van on December 1st. He used a different van on December 2nd. So that's the van he murdered Athena in. And the next day, he's just going about his business like normal.
I have some packages for down here. Am I able to go that way, or? Okay. What's going on? Oh, shit.
Imagine. He's so nonchalant. He's just carrying on with his life, with his day, honking at people. This is the van he murdered Athena in. He's probably wearing the same outfit based on the DNA evidence they found on it, including semen on his sleeve and things like that. Ew. And look at him go. Wow. I wasn't sure if I heard right there, but you guys are also saying in the chat that he said, hey, what's going on? Because like honking for people to get out the way. And they said searching for a missing girl. And he said, oh, shit. Did I hear that right? Wow. I mean, is he surprised by all the search activity? What, he thought no one would care?
Is this not 3575? I think it's 3573. I went down the wrong road. Thank you.
Sister Karen, they go home. They're not sequestered. Thank you so much.
There's a lot of people in the way.
I think this is near that river, right? Because they said he drove right through that area too, right by it, where he left Athena's body. Can't believe. That is, I mean, we can believe it based on just how monstrous he is, right? Look at all the cars. He's like, man, there's a lot of people. Uh-huh. Thank you. Especially if you're local, welcome if you're local. This case is happening in Fort Worth, Texas, right? And Athena went missing from her dad's house. She was abducted and murdered on November 30th of 2022 from Paradise, Texas. So jailer said that is by her house. That is why he turned around at the end of the road, which is a dead end. Can you believe he's honking at people to get out the way? Like, what are these people doing here? Again, did he really think he could just grab a little girl, abduct her, murder her, and then just like, I don't know, what, like, I wonder, because this is just so savage, like, what was he thinking would happen? Did you think there wouldn't be? Because there was an Amber Alert on December 1st. You thought there wouldn't be that? You thought people wouldn't be looking, or what?
Can you get through? There's people on the way. Can you get through? Hey, could you tell me when I need to get through? There's like people in a vehicle in the way. Huh? No, like that's the only way out. I have more packages to deliver. That's the only way out. There's like more packages I need to deliver.
You can pull up and try to ask them to get through, but there's been a kidnapping. So it's all blocked off. So you'll have to just pull up and ask them if they'll let you through, but there's been a 7-year-old taken.
Are you serious?
That's what all
And his hand stays there. Are you serious? Yeah.
this is for.
Sorry for all this about. Are you serious?
So if you pull up and ask the officers right here if they'll let you through, but it's all blocked off.
Man, people keep getting in the way of the alley.
Ready for the next video.
Okay. Is that video number 3?
Video number 3.
Okay. I need to take a short break for just a few minutes. Okay. We'll call you right back in, probably about 10 minutes. Okay.
And I think that was right before the terrible video, because then they just cut the cameras for a long, long, long time. That's when the jury heard. They first saw the video up until the point where Turner covered the camera, then they heard what the rest of the video was. And I had read out what the WFA reporters described that as, based on Kathy Russin's post from Law and Crime. So if you missed that, we've already gone over how they described the video was, and it's so heartbreaking. Grain 1270 said, I appreciate and respect your coverage. I could not imagine hollering into the phone, etc. Thank you so much for your support. Oh dear. Okay, we go forward, then there was the wall for a very long time. Like 2 hours. And now they come back at some point here, and now we will only be about 15 minutes behind. Okay. So actually, they might have, I think they heard the audio for an hour, video audio combination. Then they went on lunch. So, and then they're going to come back any minute, you know, and they just seem to just start video again. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, let me move myself over. Ooh. Wait, so this is from, the date is also the 1st of December. But this is at 1:14, so this was the evening of the 30th. Oh my word. So this would have been around 6:30ish at night on the 30th of November, which is after. So I think this is. Look, the door's closed here now too. This is right after he had abducted and murdered Athena. And remember, they said he went to the Love's truck stop and he was cleaning up and all of that. Okay. That's frightening. You understand the gravity of what we're watching here, right? This is him right after abducting and murdering Athena and putting her naked body in the river. Right? So to convert the time, I think there locally would have been 7:15 p.m. on November 30th of 2022. Look at him. Oh my goodness. So, no music, doors closed. And I think he drove to that FedEx base. And then his fiance picked him up. And remember in his police interview, they said, well, what did you do that night? He's like, I went home, I watched Game of Thrones, and I went to sleep. This guy is truly frightening. It's really, this is a monster. Stefan said, to seem so calm after he did such a horrible crime is actually quite disturbing. Yes. Wow. So I think this was at the, oh my word. Stop it. This was at the Love's truck stop. I'm going to just say it in case anyone's new here. If you don't like me interrupting, remember this is a commentary channel. It's what I do. It's literally what I do. If you want to just watch the raw court feeds, just go to Law and Crime or Court TV or WFAA just for the raw court feeds, okay? He's looking back, eh? Because now he wants to clean up. Trigger warning. He said that the victim pooped herself and he vomited and he had to clean that up at the truck stop. So he's looking back now. And well, I don't know if we're gonna see him cleaning it up. Here's his friggin' Dragon Ball Z lunchbox, see? Right here on the seat. Yeah, okay. Court looker said, who is he texting? Probably his fiance, because he said when he went back to the FedEx base, then she picked him up. So probably like, oh yeah, on my way, I'll be there and whatever, right? I'm guessing. We don't know. I didn't see who he's texting, but I'm just guessing that's who. Right. My jaw's on the floor. He's just like got himself a whole roll of like paper towel and some cleaning spray, and he's going to clean up the murder scene now. just used my filters and I just brightened it for us, okay, just so we could see what he's doing back there. I mean, what is going on here? What, like, wow. And as Brooke Al said, he didn't go through the back. He didn't like open the door. He doesn't want anyone to see, huh? He got in the front. Now he's just busy there cleaning. So at that very moment, it would have been about an hour before this, Athena's stepmother would have reported her missing, called 911. The police are there. The search is starting. Everybody's panicking, looking for Athena all over the 10-acre property. And he's doing this, cleaning up the crime scene. Easy, thank you. You said unbelievable. That's what I was thinking. Gina, you said praise for everyone in the courtroom. If we feel like this, we're only seeing this. Imagine those that saw and heard the video audio. Right? Shame.
then we turned on the freaking, what's it called?
Did you use that hammer today?
Yeah.
Wow, they came up fast.
No, I ate it for lunch today.
Okay. Well, are you on your way home?
I'm on my way back to the station.
Okay. Well, I need for you to stop at, I have some free toilet paper.
Day tree for the next.
Okay, last thing I heard was toilet paper. What?
Albertsons. They don't pay me.
Okay.
I think that's his grandmother calling him, right? Anyway, he just slams the door shut and on he goes with his day, hey? Unbelievable.
Okay, bye.
Somebody also said he's still got packages in the back. They said that he did not deliver about 5 packages that he was supposed to deliver that night. He just delivered them the next morning. He just carried on the next day just with his work, started with those 5 packages and then all the others he had to deliver. Sidebar, defense is not liking it, obviously. Okay, my bad. Sorry about that. Let me just turn the brightness down for us again. Nobody ever thought we'll see Tanner Horner like that. Wait. Take it back to normal. There. Okay. That was a very quick sidebar. Oh boy.
Hey, I'm just giving you a heads up. I would give me the same truck tomorrow because it kind of smells like barf in here. I guess I just ate.
See, we just heard him request the same truck. Hey, just a heads up, I'm going to need the same truck tomorrow. I guess he's blaming it on the packages, right, that weren't delivered. Going to need that. He had the same truck the next day on December 1st of 2022. The following day, however, he got a different truck. That was called the arrest van in this case. This is the abduction van. So somebody else drove this van on December 2nd. That somebody must be horrified. Rainer Banks said, I can't believe I'm saying this, but to me, he's truly one of the worst effing people on this earth. He's a particularly heinous criminal. I agree. This is one of the worst ever. Definitely future dangerousness, right? The real Melvis said, how long after this was he arrested? So this was on the evening of November 30th of 2022. This was right after, this video is from right after he had abducted and murdered Athena. And he went to the Love's truck stop, cleaned up first, then he went back to the FedEx base. His fiance picked him up, he watched Game of Thrones, and he went to sleep. The next day, December 1st, the police already called him, and then on December 2nd, he was arrested. He was arrested, and he led the police to Athena's body on December 2nd of 2022, so 2 days. 2 days only. What are they redacting the audio now? They're redacting the audio. So we'll stare at him in silence. Thank you for your support, The Real.
I'm just giving you a heads up, I would give me the same truck tomorrow, because it kind of smells like barf in here, and I guess I just ate something bad earlier.
Stop it. It wasn't even about the packages. You said, hey, I'm going to need the same van tomorrow because it kind of smells like barf in here. I guess I ate something bad. Stop it.
I just threw up in the back of the truck, which I'm still good to work tomorrow, don't worry. But I did eat something that didn't agree with me, and it kind of stinks now. I'm going to wash it out. I just stopped at Love's and I used some paper towels and some sanitizer spray.
Well, see what you can do quickly, but I mean, just to clean it up. All that takes now.
Oh no, I mean, I already cleaned it up. I just got done cleaning it up.
Alright, we'll bring something tomorrow to kind of spray it down, but yeah, we'll stick it back in that truck.
Yeah, it smells bad. I got rid of the throw up. I couldn't get rid of the smell.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. I hope you're feeling better.
Oh, no, after I threw up, I felt a lot better. I was feeling a little bit nauseous all day. But,
well,
clearly I got rid of whatever it was.
I appreciate you knocking out the route.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can deal with being nauseous.
Alright, man. Well, you'll get a good night's sleep, and we got a big day tomorrow, so...
I know. Like, have you figured out what it's looking like?
I don't. I'm getting ready to call Chase and see. I'm going to let him know. I can let you know as well. I'll text you back.
Alright.
Alright, man. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Alright, you too.
Alright, thanks, Tanner.
He even sniffed his own fingers there. Oh, wow. Asked for the band because, you know, as Pernille is quoting, I try to and clean it up myself, feeling a bit nauseous all day. I can deal with being nauseous. We'll figure it out.
Hey, just to let you know, I wasn't able to tell you earlier because I was trying to go to get some cleaning supplies out of Love's, but I kind of threw up in the back of the truck. I threw up in the back of the truck. So there's this one single gas station that's out where I work, right? And they got this little cafe on the inside. I ate a hamburger for lunch. You know, there's a little bit deep in the middle, which, you know, normally that's not that big of a deal. I eat burgers like that in restaurants all the time. But I've been feeling nauseous for the last few hours. And I finally just
Yeah, better not be sick or actually breathing.
Oh no, I actually feel a lot better.
Oh, my word, he can lie. Oh, you know the little cafe at this one truck stop, had a burger. Tries to explain that made him feel sick. He threw up. He had to get cleaning supplies. Clean the truck. Explaining when he'll be home, I guess. Or when he'll be picked up, I don't know. But okay, and then just making up crap as he goes along. Like, hey, I'm feeling a lot better now. Right after murdering Athena Strand. He can actually behave like this and say that. Wow.
Hello, how far away are you? This is your show, this is the end of the garden.
About 15 minutes. When you called me, I was literally in Lowe's, like, trying to get cleaning supplies. First, they're going to try to make me buy cleaning supplies. I was just like, no, I know you guys got the paper towels and some sanitizer that I can use. I Oh, well, I'm really not supposed to. Well, I could just sweep it off on his concrete. All right, all right. So. About 15 minutes. All right, love you.
Dawn says, I was wondering why they are showing him driving around for so long. Yeah, and now we know. Sorry, I'm covering the timestamp there. I've got this banner that says video after Athena was murdered same evening, because even though it says the 1st of December 2022 at 1:01:51, you got a minus 7 hours at that time. You know, because that's UTC. His backpack, is it? Oh my word, isn't that where he put Athena's pants and everything? Ether Bunny said, there is no mitigating factor strong enough to not get death penalty in my honest opinion. I agree. Donald says, no music. I know, right? No, he's got no music. Just thinking about everything he just did, huh? Just, can we get to sentencing? That's all I could say. Are we there yet? The defense plans to put on 19 witnesses. Putting stuff in the backpack. Wait. Let me just take this frame off for a second here. Go back, just like, look. Wait. Texting. And we know that Athena's pants, underwear and a sock was found at his house. They don't know where her shirt is at all. But look. Oh my word. Stop it. Based on what we know, that's Athena's clothing. Puts his lunchbox on top. He's got his zero tattoo there, which he said was inspired by a Christian rock band. Also, there was something about anime that came out from Death Note, and he talked about something about zero. And there is the tattoo he talked about in the police interviews. Zero. And then he decided that's his alter ego. Okay.
Cross-examination.
No questions.
May Ranger Espinoza be excused. You may be wrong. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Judge.
No questions, huh? Shame for Ranger Espinoza and everyone in the courtroom that saw that today. Saw and heard everything.
State rest, Your Honor.
Ooh, there we go. State rests. Did you hear it? Okay, let's put it on the screen. The state rests. Wait, we always capture that moment, right? State rests. That's what they ended with today. That was very strategic, hey? Sure, to have Athena's mother on the stand yesterday, that was so powerful. And then her father today, and then these FedEx videos, that's how the state rests. Listen, defense, you want to rest now too? Do it. Rest.
Okay. The state is rested, and I've told you what your schedule will be next week. Okay? So we will see y'all on Wednesday. Same routine you've been doing. That's a lot of days to be exposed to the media. So stay away. Okay? We're halfway through. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Deputy King will have things for you when you get back into the jury room. All right? All rise.
I'll update you guys on what's going on in case you missed it in the beginning. That's it. Okay, so just hold on. We've still got things to talk about. Sure. State rests. The poor jury, I mean, they now have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to think about everything they saw and heard today. I'm going to swear on my own channel. Bye, piece of shit. Bye. I don't know how he could live with himself. Honestly. And there's the state of Texas seal. Okay, so there are Daubert hearings coming up. Let me quickly just tell you about that. Hold on one second. I just want to also find something for you. Okay, so we're going to do this. I'm going to tell you, have you ever watched a Daubert hearing? If you watched other trials with me, then you have, right? Okay, so let us go and find that WFAA video. Hold on one second. Somebody, it's about, might have to use this one that, just hold on one second. Just want to find you a nice copy. Sorry for this delay now. So yeah, the jury is, they've gone home. There we go. And they're coming back on Wednesday. Okay, this, okay. I'm going to play it directly from this feed. Okay, Daubert hearing. Let's start with that. Firstly, what is a Daubert hearing? A Daubert hearing is usually a pretrial hearing, but sometimes we've seen it mid-trial, especially in death penalty cases. Okay, we saw it in the Burgos Aviles case, also in Texas. He did not get the death penalty, Burgos Aviles, right? So a Daubert hearing is a special proceeding in which the judge decides whether an expert witness can testify before a jury. And so I don't know how many witnesses they'll have, but maybe all 19 that the defense plans to put on. I would think it's going to be mental health experts that they're going to have a Daubert hearing for 3 days, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. The judge said when the jury's not present, no cameras. Okay, so we're not going to be able to watch that Daubert hearing, which I can't say I'm mad at it. I don't feel mad at it. Daubert hearings can be the worst. They are, they're quite something. But I know that some of you will be like, "Oh man, I want to see that." I'm so sorry. The judge has said no. The public cannot watch tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday. They'll do Daubert hearings. The state has rested. The defense will start their case on Wednesday. That's when day 9 is going to happen. Okay, they will start their case, and they plan to have 19 witnesses. It depends if those 19 that they plan to have, how many of them are going to make it through the Daubert hearings? How many will the judge say, nope, nope, nope? Who knows? Christine Trigg, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Panache Luxury said, why isn't he shackled? He's probably got like a stun cuff on. I would like the button for that, you know, like the control that you could just zap him a little bit just to test it out. You know, I'll just test it out here and there. How about that? Okay, and so let's see what else my research says. It comes from the 1993 U.S. Supreme Court case of Daubert versus Merrill Dow Pharmaceuticals. The judge acts as a gatekeeper and must determine if the expert's testimony is both relevant to the case and reliable, scientifically valid, and based on proper methodology. So how it works is usually outside the presence of the jury, and so the jury doesn't potentially hear unreliable or junk science. So, oh my word, are they going to call Dr. Lewis to the stand? Not that what Dr. Lewis testifies to is junk science, but what she says is pretty sketch. In my opinion, Dr. Lewis was from the Letitia Stark trial. Are they going to call Dr. Lewis to the stand? I don't know. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put up WFAA's... Anyway, so that's what's happening for the next 3 days. And we won't be seeing it. We're going to meet again for the trial next week, Wednesday, for day 9, okay? But in between, don't worry. I always see you in between. We talk about lots of other cases and things, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, let's go to this moment here where there's a courtroom insider. Trigger warning, because what they're going to describe right here, as they switch over to this, is what I've already read to you, what Kathy Russin from Law and Crime relayed from what she heard from this very video right here, okay? And so what we've already read through that, but now we're going to hear it for ourselves, how they explain what they heard in the courtroom. It does come with a huge trigger warning because they're explaining the video and the audio of Athena being abducted and murdered. So please know it can be very upsetting. I don't blame you if you want to just, you know, have me save your seat there. Punk Gopher said, I mean, you have to make sure the stun cuff works occasionally. Yeah, exactly. You can't have it break on you. So I would like to be that checker. I'd like to be in the courtroom and just check if it works here and there, right? Anyway, so Sweet Lorraine said he sounds like Stefan Stone's yucky vibes. Who would have thought that I would say that he might even be worse than Stefan Stone's? I think he is, right? Oh my goodness, thank you for your support. So here we go. Let's have a listen.
And father and some of the family members left and did not listen to it. And then the judge also asked the gallery if anybody cannot make it through the next, through this entire video, then you may want to go ahead and leave right now, because he warned everyone. And it is, you basically hear Tanner Horner torturing this little girl. We still have 30 more minutes of this video before they broke for lunch, and the judge told us there's still another 30 more minutes of graphic video, but you see them first walk up to the vehicle. She's following him into the van, and then he lifts her up and puts her in the van, and she's saying, where are we going? And Terry, I'm gonna let you also kind of talk to what you saw. Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're struggling to hear Terry. Is there a little bit something wrong with her audio?
No, it might just be because we're sharing our ear pods. Can you not hear?
No, I can't.
Okay, let me just see if that. Can you hear her now, Tanya? Okay. Tanya, sorry, we're having some difficulty here. We're gonna Take off the ear pods, I think.
Yeah. These are the folks, this is the reality of technology. Go ahead.
Yeah. I like that. Folks, this is the reality of technology.
Can you hear us now, Tanya?
Yes, go ahead.
Of course, the story that
she says, why are you doing this? And he says, because you're pretty. And he says, you know that, don't you? And then they drive around for a while. She keeps saying, where are you going? And then he stops the vehicle, and that's when it gets very graphic. Tanya, at one point, he tells her to take off her shirt, and she says, why? And he says, he doesn't really answer that. You can't really hear what he says, but then she says, my mom says somebody shouldn't be doing this to me, and you shouldn't be doing this to me.
Right, yeah. My mom said, I can't do this to other people, and you can't do it to me either. So, what I think is interesting is that the state spent a lot of time yesterday proving up that DNA evidence, or trying to bring that in. And I think it's going to be very clear that there was some very sexual, deviant things going on. Of course, by this point, we can't see, we can only hear what is going on. But she asks him several times, what are you doing? The poor child says, ouch, 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 multiple times. Asks him again, what are you doing? The point being is that we still have 30 minutes left of this audio, and this is about a year, an hour's worth of torture that he has put her through. It's shocking because.
So again, we already went over what they had said, but Athena says to Tana Horner, why are you doing this? And he says, because you're pretty. But to think that the jury heard about a half an hour, they saw some video, then it switched to audio only because he covered the camera. They heard half an hour of it and then had to break for lunch. They had lunch and then they came back and heard the other half an hour. Oh my goodness. And to hear her saying ouch and all that must have just been terrible.
It gets quiet, and then we all assume, because you can hear the struggle, and we all assume, yes, and we can all assume that she's passed, and then all of a sudden we'll hear her gasp, and we'll hear her cry, and we'll hear her moan, and then it'll get quiet.
And then he'll pull over, like he at one point he does take off, and then he hears her, so he pulls over, and then Tanya, you hear stomping or slamming, like he's trying to hurt her more, and then he takes off. And then the most eerie thing is at one point Jingle Bell Rock comes on, because remember this is around Christmas, and she is crying. She is, you could hear her crying, and he's just singing. He starts singing Jingle Bell Rock, and then she's crying. Goes, shut up. He tells her multiple times, shut up. If you don't shut up, I'm going to come back there and hurt you more. Yeah. You need to shut up. I mean, he tells her to shut up several times.
What's eerie is that he turns on his flashers, and it's a FedEx truck. How many times have we driven by FedEx trucks, right, in our own neighborhoods? Well, he's turned on his flashers, and you can hear traffic pass by them. And I'm thinking those drivers had no idea what horror was going on in that van. It's unlike any, and the jury, they're not only crying, they are sobbing. Some of them are sobbing.
And they're glaring at him, and he's sitting there. At one point, he's just like this, holding his hands to his face, and he's just looking down. I mean, I don't know, Terry. I don't know how the defense gets past this. I mean, those jurors were very emotional.
Well, I think the part of the mitigating evidence that the defense is going to try to bring in, I don't know how it can negate the decisions that this man clearly made, because at first, it was questionable whether or not he had hurt her, so he put her in the van and, didn't know what to do, and he was confused and he made bad decisions. No, it's very calculated, and he definitely used this child for some kind of sexual
Yes,
gratification.
he did.
And
You can hear that. You can hear it. You can hear it on the audio.
yes, even though
You can hear that on the audio. So even though the medical examiner said there were no signs of sexual assault, we obviously know the DNA of his was in places it should not have been at all. Oral and other places, right? And so the medical examiner's findings would be based on there's no injuries, but there's other things happening and they could hear it. Oh man, I wish he wasn't in the courtroom. He's probably just reliving it. He's a very, very sick person. You know, the serial killer John Wayne Gacy used to like doing what they're describing. Actually, it sounds like that to me, like where he would strangle the victim, but to a point where they lose consciousness, but they don't die. They lose consciousness, and then he would release the rope and everything he had, and then wait for them to regain consciousness and breathe like that, the way that they just described, because they said it goes quiet and you think, oh my goodness, has she passed away? No, and then you hear her gasping and crying and everything. That is so beyond sadistic. And he told some of the people that he actually allegedly sexually assaulted when they'd initially connected that he was really into BDSM. And, you know, so he posted on Facebook as well, something about being called daddy or whatever, this guy. The point is, I think he's, and I'm not shaming the BDSM community before somebody, everyone's always getting offended about something, right? I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm saying him. That was already like from 2012 or 2013, 14, around there, right? So his behavior escalated. He's accused, he's charged of sexually assaulting 3 teenagers. And now here he's confessed to and pleaded guilty to abducting and murdering Athena. But the way that they describe this tells me, because they said he tried to murder her, several times over that hour. That's also what the Texas Ranger said. So it sounds like he would strangle her, she'd lose consciousness, and he'd wait for her to come back to life, kind of thing, like take a deep breath and then do it again, and then do it again. That's what it sounds like he was doing, right? Stefan said sadistic psychopath. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. So, and just as I brought up John Wayne Gacy, John Wayne Gacy used to quote from the Bible while doing it. Like, as I walk through the valley in the shadow. Or yeah, while doing it. So this guy singing Jingle Bell Rock, when, Athena, her favorite holiday was Christmas. It is so horrifying what she went through. It's difficult to even comprehend.
there wasn't an accusation in the indictment, it is clear that there was something sexual going on. Plus, we also know that there was DNA found on her body. And so I think that it's going to be very difficult for any defense expert to come in with mitigating evidence, whether it's because he grew up with a lot of trauma, he was an fetal alcohol syndrome, or whatever the case may be, because his mother drank when he was in the womb, whether he has autism, whether he has multiple personality disorder, which they now call really something completely different, or whether he's a sociopath or a psychopath. I don't think that a defense expert can change the way this trial is going to go. And that is coming from just watching this jury and hearing for ourselves what he put her through.
It's so haunting, Tanya, because when he's walking her to the van, I can't hear what they're talking. And by the way, he does drop off the Barbies first, and then he drops off the package, and then you see him. And when he first pulls over, you see him kind of looking around, almost like he does scope her out, like he sees her. You can't really see her at that point, but then you see her following him, and then him hoisting her up into that truck, and then into the van. And then, she's asking, where are we going? Like she's going, initially she's just wondering, like, where are we going?
Right.
And no big deal at first, but then she realizes at some point that something's wrong.
Well, and you want to talk about calculated and premeditated. There are 2 cameras on this FedEx van. There is a dash cam, which is very similar to a police dash cam, where it projects out in front of the van. He covered that up immediately. That we never saw any video from that once he got to Athena's house. Then after he brought her into the van, brought her into that area, we've seen the picture of her standing there while he's driving. At that point, shortly thereafter, he covers that camera. And you know what's interesting is, Rebecca, you remember he walked around that van and he looked into the passenger side window like he was scoping out the cameras. So it's totally premeditated. It's totally premeditated. This is not some person who freaked out and made bad decisions. To me, it looks very premeditated.
And we certainly don't see some alter ego come out while he is doing this to Athena.
Right.
It is very deliberate, and he knows exactly what he's doing.
Well, he's tortured her. He tortured her. And, they claim in the indictment that she could have died by suffocation, strangulation, or blunt force trauma to the head, stomping. We heard it. And she's still alive. She's still alive.
She's still alive. And we again, the judge says there's still 30 more minutes. So we know from the opening statements that the prosecutor says you hear him over and over and over and over again attempting to kill her and choke her and take her life. And that's what we are hearing, because just as we think, she's passed away, you hear her gasping and crying and screaming, moaning. And it is awful time.
And the defendant's face is this far from the defense table. I mean, he is leaning over with his face just inches away from that table. Because, and you know what I thought? This is just my impression, is that the audio is playing. There's no video, but it's video in his head.
Oh yeah.
He is seeing all of that in his head. But again, a person, he is totally competent. There's no issue about competency. This man knows exactly what is going on, and he's not just out of it. He knows what's happening. He knows what he did. He's singing Jingle Bell Rock with a child screaming in the back of the van.
That was the word, because the whole thing is terrible. But when the Jingle Bell Rock comes on and she's screaming the entire time, and then he starts singing over her screaming, and then keeps telling her shut up while Jingle Bell Rock is playing, and he's singing like nothing's happened. It is the most awful thing I've ever heard in a courtroom.
And I have to say, just as we're watching different actors in the courtroom, we clearly saw the emotions from the jury, and they're taking notes as well. Some of them are taking notes, but there was emotion from both sides of the table. The prosecutors were emotional. The defense attorneys were emotional. This is not easy for either side. And I know that I'm thinking that Tanner has, according to testimony, attempted suicide several times in his life. And I'm as Rebecca said, it makes you wonder, this is in the courtroom, it makes you wonder if the defense wouldn't just rest after this, because it's just so bad. However, those defense attorneys have a job that they have to do, and I admire them. It's hard. They're going to do their job, but I would not be surprised if he didn't say, I'm done. I mean, if he's truly someone who is remorseful or regrets what he did, and he's already been suicidal in the past, it makes me wonder if he would tell his lawyers, I'm done. But I know that they will continue with their case and bringing their experts, because that is what they're required to do. But it's not easy on them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Damn. So thank you to these two ladies, Rebecca and Terry from WFAA, for sharing that. Damn. That sounded so terrible. I mean, let me just quickly check. Did they come back at all later or not? Because they still had to hear 30 more minutes. I don't think they came back later. That must have been terrible as well. And this is what we saw then later, but it wasn't more of that audio. I don't know. Terrible, right? Sure. So thank you so much for watching this day with me. Day 8. And now I'll make sure I put this in the pinned comment as well. Day 9 continues on Wednesday. What date is Wednesday? Today is Thursday, April 16th. And Wednesday is going to be April 22nd of 2026. That's when we keep going with this trial, right? When the defense will start their case. Thank you so much, Leslie, for the 5 delicious coffees. What we're going to do now is we're going to teleport to a members only live stream just to like debrief a bit, maybe talk about something else, right? Just to, after this heavy day. So if you are a YouTube member, here is the link. I'm going to put it in the chat for you. Members live next. There we go. We'll go there in a few minutes. I'll be live there. Thank you so much, everyone. I will see you again very soon. If you missed any of the trial days, you've got plenty of time to catch up now on that as well. I will certainly see you this weekend as well. Don't worry. And thank you, mods, for everything you do. Thanks, Grizzly Cat, for helping out as well today. And yeah, make sure you look after your mental health. We didn't see or hear that, but already what we saw in her today was disturbing enough. You know what I mean? Really thinking of the jurors and everybody that heard that in the courtroom today. Man, my heart goes out to them. It's so, so disturbing. And yeah, looking forward to next week then, maybe hopefully deliberations or what? I mean, how long can the defense case really go on? Maybe I shouldn't ask that. Weeks. OMG, Becky, welcome. I'll see you at the member stream in a few minutes. Bye, everyone.